Hey there, Sovereigns. Monica Grace from cardreadingqueen.com here, and today I'm doing a new moon reading for January 2020. So the exciting thing about this new moon, so first of all, it is the first new moon of 2020 and the first new moon of our decade that we have just entered. So that's pretty exciting. It's also the Lunar New Year, also known as the Chinese New Year, and they are celebrating the Year of the Rat, which is pretty exciting because that is also the beginning of their zodiac. So similar to how Aries is the beginning of the the zodiac signs for our astrology, this is the first zodiac animal. This particular reading is also exciting for me because I was actually born in the Year of the Rat as well, and I also am an Aquarius sign, so it feels pretty fitting to me that this is the first reading that I'm going to be doing for this channel now that I've kind of restarted this YouTube channel. So I'm not doing, unlike many of my other readings, I'm not going to be doing an extended reading for any of my moon readings. So that's for full moon and for new moon. I'm not going to do it. But normally, if you're finding another reading on my YouTube channel, normally there is going to be an extended reading. And so what that is basically, I'm doing the extended readings for the situational readings that are not based on anything time sensitive. They're basically just based on if this is a situation you're in, then here's the reading for that. And then I'm also doing it for the zodiac signs, and that is basically, even though those are time sensitive, they're really not as time sensitive. So yes, they tap into the current energies and they're thematic, but you can actually have you can go to that video at any time throughout the year if you're in that situation. So for example, the Lunar New Year zodiac readings, those are all about new beginnings in love. And that situation could be something that you experience in the future. So you don't have to watch that during January of 2020. So the reason I'm sharing that is because if you like my readings, you can go to cardreadingqueen.com/2020 readings, and you can receive all the readings from the year of 2020 that I'm doing. So that's all the extended readings. Now, if you just want to watch the readings on the YouTube channel, that's fine as well. So that's great. Those readings are wonderful and encapsulated on their own as well. But if you want the additional readings that tap into those same energies, then you can go to cardreadingqueen.com/2020 energies. And so what it is, it's basically sold as a bundle. So you're going to get every single extended reading from the year of 2020, which is a huge value. There's going to be at least 50 readings. There's probably going to be many, many more than that. But I think even 50 readings is a really great bargain for what it is. So you buy it as a bundle, you have it for the whole year. And then you can also do the payment plan if you prefer. And so that payment plan is very small payments over the course of several months, and very, very easy to afford if you're trying to grab a bunch of extendeds all at once. So with that said, you can go to cardreadingqueen.com/2020 readings if you want to check out more about that. Let's just go ahead and get into this new moon channel reading. Start with the Moonology deck, of course. I do want to say something regarding the Aquarian new moon. So specifically, if you're familiar with the Aquarius zodiac sign, it's all about freedom. And what I'm getting is that this new moon, the energies around this new moon, are about freeing yourself from heavy emotions. So if you're feeling like, this year hasn't really gotten off to the start that you expected, it's really about releasing some of that emotion around that. And that's kind of the theme for the whole new moon. It's just an opportunity to cleanse, opportunity to put away holiday stuff if you celebrated some holidays toward the end of last year, an opportunity to just really get a fresh start on the year, and to know that you can have that fresh start at any time. It doesn't have to begin on January 1st. So if you kind of miss the start to the new year and you want to, ground the new year in at this point, then this is still an opportune time for that. So let's talk more about what's going on. And these new moon and full moon readings, they're going to be focused on the Twin Soul Collective. So these are going to be really general readings. And it's all about what's going on in the collective. What are the energies of the collective right now? Okay, so let's start with some overall energies. All right, we got the mutable moon, just what I was just saying, and you're very close to achieving your goal. Okay, so this one, of course, this is just confirming everything I just said. Nothing is yet set in stone. This is just reminding you that the whole thing about having a fresh beginning or a new beginning, it's all very cyclical. You don't, basically if you don't catch this wave, you can catch the next wave, or you can create your own wave. All of that's fine. So you can have a new start at any time. It's actually your choice, and it's you who are choosing to have that new start. You're very close to achieving your goal. I think that this is really about cleaning up last year's goals, and knowing that even if you didn't have the goal setting, and you didn't achieve the goals that you wanted in the last year or the last decade, whatever your end marker is, just know that you can keep going. Like these end dates are very arbitrary, and it's totally fine if you're still wrapping things up from 2019. We're gonna go into this deck. So this is Tarot Grand Lux. I have actually not used this deck before, as you can tell, because I'm gonna have to open it still and give it a really good shuffle. I know a lot of people have rituals for kind of bringing in their decks. I do sometimes, and then sometimes I just don't. So for me, I feel like this is kind of my ritual, is I just get on camera apparently and just start chatting. But I feel like, I love this deck. This deck is feeling actually it feels really like hefty for me right now. And even the imagery is a little heavy. So what I'm getting from this is that there's lots of emotions. We're really clearing out. We're clearing out some heaviness right now. And this new moon, it's just the opportunity to cleanse. So the Aquarian energy as well is really similar to the Fool in Tarot. So if you're familiar with that, it's kind of like just this person who's, got the freedom and can really go any which way they want. And they're not even necessarily looking in any specific direction. They're just, kind of willing to let the universe take them wherever. So let's look into what the collective is healing right now. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups, Nine of Wands, and the Page of Wands. So definitely what I'm getting from this just initially, I'm getting that this is, again, there's quite a bit of emotion right here, lots of energy around this emotion. I think that the emotion is actually pretty heavy. And it's almost like the emotion is, I don't want to say bursting out. It's almost like there's like a tantrumy energy to this emotion that has been building. And it's just, the sense that I'm getting is that there's just a great deal of frustration right now in the collective. And maybe it's because, you know, there's this promise of a new beginning and it just doesn't feel like it's happening. And it actually is feeling like a lot of the same old. It's not feeling like there's a new cycle that has come in. So with the Nine of Wands, the word that I'm hearing is just alone. Alone, alone, alone. The counterparts feel like they are doing this on their own at this point. And, you know, they're just, what I'm getting from this is just that they're very angry about this. They feel just really like betrayed, let down, abandoned. There's a lot of pain here as well. So we're gonna go deeper into this. We have the Page of Wands. Yeah, I think there's a lot of, so what I'm getting from this is like, it's all the same energy. It's basically like this really angry and like, kind of like, almost like a destructive energy. So it's like, you know, it's like a child who's throwing a tantrum, and it's not even that child's fault. It's just that the emotions are literally so out of control that it's almost like they can't contain it. There's like just this deep need to like let it all out and like have kind of a freak out is what I'm getting. So it's kind of like, okay, we're going to have, like, we've tried to do it the nice way almost, but now we're going to have like a real intense, like freak out of energy, basically. So that, and it's not a bad thing. It's so that the energy can be released. So what I'm getting from this regarding the child, it's not like you're throwing the tantrum and it's a bad thing. It's actually that there are no other options. It's almost like you have to, like, at this point, you just have to get angry because you've tried all the other ways. So be aware of that. And, you know, if that's not something that you want to do, especially in front of other people, then it may be something that you want to, you know, take some time to yourself to process and integrate, and be angry, but of course be mature about that anger. Don't go out and like key someone's car. like obviously it's a very unspiritual thing to do, but yeah, so don't let that energy overtake you and cause you to do something that you're not going to be proud of at a later date. All right, so let's keep going. So I want to look at what you might be seeing, what you might be experiencing. Okay, so we've got the Four of Cups. This is an interesting image. Normally this person in the Four of Cups is looking away from this cup. They're actually looking at these three cups. In this image, he's actually looking at the cup and seeing this opportunity. So I'm going to take the message that way instead of the traditional meaning of it. So then we also have the Fool. And this image is really interesting because here is the Fool kind of prancing off. So that's the energy. And I was saying earlier, that's an Aquarian energy. Very similar energy is there, if you're not as familiar with astrology. But this is interesting because it's almost like there's someone watching over him, and almost like ready to reprimand is what I'm getting. And what I think this is that it's it's actually it's actually each of us as individuals. So it's like somebody is reprimanding at the 5D level, saying like, no, you can't do this. You can't be free of this. You can't release this. Because if you do, you're going to release your counterpart, or you're going to mess up something with your counterpart. So it's almost like there's this desire to hold on. And it's coming at the 5D level. So it's like it's almost like you're not willing to process the energy, and get really angry or set a really hard boundary that, you're not going to move. It's almost like that. And it's like you're using the 5D to contain your 3D self, if that makes sense. And it's almost like you're trying to go to the 5D, and you're like bypassing the 3D of what you need and want to feel at this time. So if you feel like you've been, repressing emotions, or repressing frustration, then this could be for you. And I'm still not sure how it ties to this though. So let's keep going. We got the Hierophant. I know what this card means. So this card is the 5th major arcana, but what I am actually getting from this is a very 4 of Wands energy. So, and I think it's because of these pillars in the back. So what I'm getting is, it's really similar to this card. It's that this is a very, it's a very restricted energy. It's like, and it's like actually really dark too. So it's like you're trying to put the twin flame situation that you're trying to put it into a box right now. And it's like, it's almost like you're trying to make it a religion that's very strict, and you have to follow the rules and, that sort of thing. And not really personalizing it to your own needs. So it's almost like the difference between religion and spirituality. So what this is trying to say is, and this is kind of, I think that's where this card comes in. It's really trying to say that there's an opportunity here to get rid of this energy of like, and it's almost like you're placing your higher power into a relationship of abuse over you. And it's like placing the 5D in almost like an abusive position. And you kind of get that with this, how there's like this person lording over this, the traditional fool setup. And then you have this, where you have this very dark person, who is, effectively the Pope or the priest, who is kind of hardlining this, this situation. And like, so it could be like the theory behind twin souls that you are holding on to too tightly, and it's not allowing you to go to the next level. So what I want to say here is that there is an opportunity to go to the next level, and it requires the loosening on some of this energy. Another thing I want to say that I got is, what got you here doesn't necessarily get you to the next level. So if you started out with the twin soul journey, and you started with some of the beginner material, let's say, and now it's like you need to transcend that material because you're at a different point in the journey. So it's just like if you were, and I'm actually gonna talk about my other business right now. So I have another business that is about teaching people how to write books, and also teaching people how to build online businesses. But it focuses on business, marketing, strategy, writing, that sort of thing. And in that business, I have different material for the beginner and different material for the expert. So if you're at the beginner stages of your writing career, then you're going to resonate more with some of the beginner material I have. And those are things that I learned, basically back in like 2012, that I then started teaching around 2014, 2015. And I'm still teaching them today because some people are at that point in their journey. And so it resonates with them. Now, for me, the things that I'm teaching are not the things that I am doing in my daily practice anymore. But that's because I've transcended those lessons. Like, I learned those lessons so long ago and have transcended them. And so now I'm using more advanced strategies at this point. And so that's what this whole scenario is. It's like you're trying to be too strict with, the things that have been working for you so far, and you're not allowing yourself to transcend those things and move on to the next level. So maybe you're beginner and you're moving on to intermediate. Maybe you're intermediate, you're moving on to advanced. Maybe you're advanced, you're moving on to expert, and so on. So you're really you're transcending your old rules. And so you need to loosen your grip on those rules so that you can come to a new understanding. This row is about what is your counterpart seeing, what is your counterpart experiencing. We have the Four of Wands, which is really interesting because, as I said before, this card had actually given me Four of Wands, like a very dark Four of Wands energy. So you can see why. Like, look at these two cards. Very, very similar in their motif. But one is really a dark card and one's a light one. Okay, so we also have the Seven of Coins, and then we have the 9 in the Major Arcana, which is the Hermit. So what I'm getting from this is that your counterpart is like, they're kind of chilling. They are not feeling necessarily exactly what you're feeling. And remember, if you were attracted to this reading, know that they could have been attracted to something else. So what I'm getting for this is that they're actually grounding into their energy and grounding into the 3D in order to provide space for this transformation that you're doing. So if you're the one watching the video and not your twin soul, then this transformation is for you to move forward, so that your whole, the whole relationship is going to move forward. But this is, you are the one who's kind of in the deeper upheaval right now. So we've got this, Four of Wands card. And so, the thing I'm getting most from this is really the contrast with this. So it's basically that they're in a place where they are understanding twin souls at the level that they are able to understand it right now, which is phenomenal. So they do understand it. They're understanding it, and it's very, the level that they're understanding it at is very beautiful and open for them. They're really seeing the possibilities there. It's a little different from you because you may be the twin that is, I don't want to say more aware of the journey. You may be the twin that is doing the more active work on the journey right now. So it could be that you're the one who understands twin souls in like this specific language, and who understands kind of the work and how to do it and the processes and that sort of thing. They are still understanding it, but it's looking very differently for them right now. And they're not in upheaval over it. They do really get it. So that's kind of a message to you that you're not alone in this. You're not trying to figure this out by yourself. We got the Seven of Coins. Yeah, to me, this is, typically this card is about the harvest not being quite ready, what I'm getting from this is that they are in a place of harvesting. So they're actually reaping some rewards right now. What I'm actually getting from this is that they are having a very strong external start to their new year. So they're actually in like a happy place, which is very contrasted with this energy. So I just want you to look at this. Like, this is a very happy energy right here. This is there's like a darkness to this energy up here. So this, to me, what I'm getting is that they're in a good place externally. So what you might be seeing from them and what they might be seeing in their life is like, hey, the abundance is coming toward me externally. Now that doesn't mean, so this card is specifically giving you a clue as to what's actually going on behind the scenes a bit more, which is what they're experiencing. And they're experiencing a contraction still. Like, they want to really pull back, and I think they're really observing some of this. Like, it feels really good externally, but they're observing that. I don't want to say something. I mean, so the phrase that's coming to mind is that something's fishy about it. So it's almost like they're aware of this, energy that's going on behind the scenes that is affecting them. And they might even be wondering, like, if everything looks so good to me on the outside, like the external world is looking really good, but like internally something is just not feeling as good. And so that could be that could be your energy, kind of just like kind of affecting them. They're kind of realizing, like, this external stuff is not, like, it feels good and it's a great thing and I'm happy about it, but it's not the whole story. All right, so we are gonna wrap this up, move into some guidance. This is also a new deck for me, and it's been on my list for a while, so I'm really excited about it. The Journey of Love. I have a number of Alana Fairchild's decks. This is one of the newer ones I got recently. So we're gonna give it, got that new card, or new deck feel and smell. So we're gonna give it a couple shuffles. So what's interesting about this deck, and I knew it was the right one to use, this Tarot Grand Lux deck that I said was, this darker energy, or like this more emotional energy. So what's interesting about it is that, to me, the images are not fully representing the actual meaning behind some of those cards. The traditional Rider-Waite meanings, I would say. They're actually representing it's almost like really similar to like the after tarot, which is basically, what happens in the moment after the scene on the card. So I'm kind of noticing that about this deck, is that some of it is it's kind of like, well, what's happening. It's almost like what's happening right after. So like, I'm specifically thinking of the Seven of Coins, which is normally not the meaning of this harvest. And then this Four of Cups, like he's actually starting to look at that cup. So it's almost like it's depicting a later energy than what a traditional tarot would depict. So I find that interesting. I want to point that out, because it could just be that this collective that's drawn to this particular reading is really understanding a lot more and just further along. Okay, so let's pull these cards. All right, we've got the Swan, and then we've got 3 to 1. I'm going to pull another card on this. Legacy of Light. Oh, Okay. 2 more came out. Woman of Light and the Pearl Threaded. Okay, so what I'm getting from this as the closing, so this 3 to 1, really interesting. I'm getting that these 3 are you and this is them. So the Swan, what I'm getting from this is really just to trust that this is your twin. And for some reason, it feels like there's a question about that. Like there hasn't been a question in a while about whether this is your twin or not, but this person, he or she still is. This is still your twin. And this image on here is interesting as well, because I'm just getting that it's still filling in the information. So it's like you don't have all the information about this person yet, but they are still your twin. The 3 to 1, I have the Legacy of Light, Woman of Light, and the Pearl Threaded. And this is basically just, telling you that you're ready to move on. Like you've laid this groundwork. This pearl is threaded, so you know that when you pull this out, you would have you'd have several pearls on a necklace as you pull it out. So I'm getting that this is your union, and like the seeds are planted, the pearl is threaded, however you want to call it. But it's all lined up for you. And then I'm getting this Legacy of Light to Woman of Light. This energy, I'm getting the High Priestess from it. And so this is just wisdom. Basically, you're ready to move from this light that you were already in. You're ready to transcend to another one. Wow. Okay. So that's all I have for you today. This new moon, I think, is bringing about a lot of emotion, the new decade as well. And so we're really just, again, in a place of clearing out. If you'd like to get some other readings, you can check out the rest of my channel, cardreadingqueen.com/YouTube, to go there. And then don't forget that if you see any readings and you'd like to get the bundle of readings, the extended readings, you can go to cardreadingqueen.com/2020energies. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful to you. Have a beautiful and blessed day.